Hi everyone, hi from FBBR, hi from me and my colleague Jesper, and we will try to explain in brief our point of view regarding potential exploitation possibilities and using of the outcomes of the HEIMDALL system in the BDR concept of preparedness planning like end user, and a bit about our point of view regarding the dissemination strategy or dissemination of the outcomes from the HEIMDALL platform system and FBBR's experiences regarding that. Like you can see on this slide, potentialities to use the HEIMDALL system in FBBR and the 6 municipalities that are covered by the FBBR services is great. The first one is important to stress that this system will be used in our daily work. We call this comprehensive preparedness planning in all 3 ways, which means before, during, and after an emergency situation, exemplified in case of wildfire and flooding. And more than we will use this system in the 6 municipalities preparedness planning at different levels in one emergency situation, and also in a way to send alert to citizens or to contribute to the alert we are sending to citizens in case of one emergency situation caused by flooding or wildfire, something like that. And also in our cooperation in Denmark and outside Denmark, which can contribute to better understanding and enhance, in fact, our cooperation. So if we look in brief which benefits from the use of the HEIMDALL system can be to us, as I said, it's to make FBBR's 6 municipalities better prepared to handle complex crisis situations by using this system. Next is to support FBBR's operative response and response planning in case of one emergency situation, and to facilitate the handling of complex emergency situation in case of, for example, wildfire, flooding, and by offering this flexible platform with a wide range of support tools to be used operationally by a wide range of stakeholders. In our sense or point of view, it's mainly firefighting units, medical aid, police, civil protection units, command and control centers. And again, to send a more real alert to citizens in case of one emergency situation. And final one is to enhance our international cooperation. All this I said we can see on this slide. This concept you can see in the center of this slide is in fact FBBR's comprehensive preparedness planning concept and outcomes from the HEIMDALL system can be connected to different parts of these concepts. Just to stress that the comprehensive preparedness planning concept is about preparing for extraordinary incidents that cannot be managed with ordinary resources and routines alone. In the FBPR's point of view, it means that the purpose of this planning is to strengthen our ability to prevent the incidents where it is possible and to manage them when it is necessary. Like you can see, this concept we divide in the 7 general disciplines or areas, which are contingency planning, planning assumptions, prevention, training, exercise, evaluation, and program management in the center. So in different disciplines of this concept, the outcomes of the HEIMDALL system will be used in our daily work. On all this, we will connect to our dissemination strategy inside the Denmark and outside the Denmark. I will, in brief, introduce a little bit about our preparedness planning in Denmark. Our incident command system working together in the response area in this way that we have, for example, police, fire, and rescue service and ambulance that are working together, where the police and their incident commander, its incident commander is coordinating officer, and from our response team and our fire and rescue service, our incident commander is the technical officer, and it's combined with the ambulance service and medical service when it is necessary. But we will again look at this topic a little bit later when Jesper will explain you a bit deeper regarding the exercises, response plans, and evaluation of the system. In Denmark, our citizen is covered by 2 layers protection, one from municipality, and the response from the municipality is about 10 to 15 minutes, which depends on our risk-based dimensioning concept and our dimensioning response. And we, in Denmark, we have together today 24 firefighting services that cover all our citizens inside the show time to 15 minutes approximately. And the layer number 2 is from government, DIMA, Danish Emergency Management Agency, and this response we can provide inside 2 hours, and together we had 6 national fire and rescue services in Denmark managed by government, i.e. from DIMA. If we look now at the fire and municipality services here in Frederiksborg area covered by PPR, so our tasks are regarding fire inspections, environment, protect, rescue, and prevention. Our comprehensive preparedness planning concept, as I said, is divided in the 7 disciplines, and maybe just to point out, this planning and assumptions platforms is very interesting because of mostly of the HEIMDALL outcomes will be used also in this platform, where we have preparing from extraordinary incidents, risk assessment, scenario buildings, dimensioning, etc. On the next slide, you can see a part of this planning assumptions and assumptions platforms. which is risk and vulnerability analysis called RVA model. And I will not go in depth with explaining this model. It's just to show that prevention, preparations, response, recovery is our capabilities, but we are exposed to different kinds of threats, also of the threats that are caused by climate change. But anyway, despite our protection and all these things, some of these threats can go through this, where is necessary our operative response, and in this way we will be better prepared, we think so, when we use the HEIMDALL platform and incorporate it in our daily work with this CPPI, called the CPPI concept. One very interesting and by law regulated model for all fire and rescue services at municipal level in Denmark is one concept called risk-based dimensioning, which is designed from our point of view, like you show here, of 5 steps, 5 phases, where the first phase is risk identification. Number 2 is risk analysis, and in this phase we have also scenario analysis, scenario buildings, and response flow planning for different kinds of incidents. After the presentation of the service level to the municipal governments and accept of this, and then implementation, and all these steps are covered by management, communication, documentation, gathering experiences, etc. Why this concept is very important in relation to the HEIMDALL system? It is because when we make our risk profile for the 6 municipalities, it means that we had made one risk estimation and one risk profile. And for this risk profile that we show in risk metrics, we have chosen a number of the scenarios. We call these scenarios representative scenarios, or dimensioning scenarios, which in fact will be combined by this step from HEIMDALL platform, scenario matching, when we have all scenarios that we will compare with this that occurred, and so measure them and see how we can plan and contribute to a better response in this regard. So on the basis of this risk ABD, risk-based dimensioning concept, we dimension our operative response, designed of the trucks, equipment, firefighters, officers, team leaders, etc. So it's in mutual interrelation and depending on each other. If we look also, for example, of one segment, we call this contingency plans. In this segment, we have also crisis management, which is in our point of view divided in the 5 core steps or core tasks. That is activating of this crisis management unit or crisis management organization. And next task is information management, that can be combined with communication management. So which aim is to manage these steps of potential crisis and provide a perfect real situational picture, which should help by decision making in this situation. And also cooperation of actions and resources is also one task, together with the operative response, which Jesper will later explain a bit about that. So it is also a part when we assume to use our future, like you say, or the future HEIMDALL system or HEIMDALL platforms. And a bit about our dissemination strategies is that through these seminars, workshops, conferences, articles, visiting also other countries, for example, Balkan countries, and case studies, we will distribute the results and best practices from FBBR and Denmark. And now back to this platform, and I'll give over to my colleague Jesper to explain a bit about this response plans, training and exercises and evaluation. Just a bit how to use this in our sense, preparedness planning during, before, during, not before, now, during and after one crisis situation. Jesper, you're welcome.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. About the training in Denmark, we have some basic training for our firefighters and for our participants in the civil protection, and we will be able to use the HEIMDALL platform in the education. You can say that we will train as we fight. The platform, the possibility for simulation in the platform will give us a perfect platform for the training of our firefighters and volunteers. About the exercises, the platform will give us an opportunity to exercise on different levels. Sefik showed you a slide with the Trinity, the incident commanders with the incident commander from the fire rescue service and from the police, and the coordinating doctor from the health service, and they will have a platform for the training. We will be able to train on that level, and also the team leaders. Sefik also told you about the risk-based dimension, and well, we have made an risk analyst will take some of the risks and make scenarios on the representatives scenarios, and the HEIMDALL platform will be a very, very useful tool to make these scenarios for the planning, for the training, and for the exercise. After the incidents, of course, we all will evaluate on them, and we will use what we have experienced on the incidents with the results from the HEIMDALL platform and adjust it afterwards. Anything else?
I think it's okay. Like Jesper said, we have inside this concept scenario building, simulation of the scenario, and more real explaining of the impact on people, property, environment, and infrastructure functions in case of a crisis situation. So this concept is very wide, but we choose to introduce you in brief about that and show you how we think to use potentialities and benefits from the HEIMDALL system and disseminate the results to others inside Denmark. For example, our neighboring civil protection units or services, and also outside Denmark to our potential cooperation partners, for example, in the Balkan countries who are EU candidate countries. So this is that we thought could be interesting maybe in this point of view and for this webinar session.